So I would like to invite Ervin, with a special name, and to share his thoughts and feelings and just summing up.
I was a great believer in this case in listening. We got together a group here that we hoped will bring forward important issues, and we'll have some ideas as to how to approach them. This expectation was much more fulfilled than I ever would have expected. This is a group that could create history if it became known what it's saying, what its message would become known. The very fact that it's taking place, that it has taken place, is a remarkable sign of the coming of healing as a prolegomena to evolution. I want to say a couple of things very, very briefly. What we have assumed all the way through, and I don't know if I've stated it, anybody stated it very explicitly, but we've assumed that the sentience, which I'm very grateful to Alexander for bringing that into the title, this concept, that sentience is universal. Sentience is characteristic of this universe. This is a sentient universe. Consciousness, as I see it, as I feel it almost, is how sentience is evolving, what sentience is evolving into. It is reaching a level unprecedented on this earth in the human species. But its sentience is universal. And we feel each other. We feel the rest of the world. I use the term in the same way that Alfred North Whitehead uses feeling. Also, there's a kind of prehension, he also said. We feel. We are part of a feeling world. And this world is not a passive world, not a world where anything goes. This world is a highly oriented world. It is a world that is moving in a direction. This direction can be well described as coherence and love. Coherence as a kind of an outside, external denomination, calling that coherence. The way we feel it is by moving toward experiencing love, and the heart showing the way to the brain and showing the way to the interaction to the rest of the universe. All things are oriented towards coherence. That means that all things are oriented toward love. I'm engaged these days in working a little bit in the garden. Voltaire, I think, said, occupez-vous de vos jardins. I'm not trying to do only that, but among other things, I also do that, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure. But I feel that when I pick out a flower that didn't have its place there because there's supposed to be lawn over there and not a wild flower, that I better not do it. First of all, because it's beautiful, but also because its flower is an expression of life. Everything that grows. And sometimes the plants grow, even flowers grow in the cracks between a cement plates in a driveway. Amazing how everything grows. Everything is moving forward. This is a universe that is evolving whether we know it or not, even whether we work with it or not, but it's not a universe that's predetermined. I'm fairly certain about that. It's not something that is already decided. We still have a role of how it moves forward. And that role is very simple. And the Eastern religions tell it to us very simply. They tell us, let go, allow it to surface. Put your feelings, put your ambitions, put your short-term wants in the back burner. Allow this deeper sense of who we are, what the universe is, allow it to emerge. This trial that we are passing through, this trauma, is a further challenge to evolution. it's a prototype, it's a movement, it's a signal for evolution. What we have got to prevent is the sacrifice, is the suffering, is the waste in life and in happiness, in fulfillment. That is to be prevented as much as we can. And there we have a conscious role. We have to go aligned with evolution. But evolution is taking place, and even these, what the French would call contretemps, these little hiccups, even that is moving it forward. What is happening is an evolutionary universe is undergoing an evolutionary transformation, and we are a part of it. I don't believe, this is perhaps my personal belief, but it's a very strong belief, and I've had it for many years. I don't believe that the universe has a characteristic called life, or called mind, or consciousness. I think this universe is mind, is consciousness. It's that feeling which is born into us, which is born into every blade of grass, which is born, was in the quantum particle that emerged after the Big Bang, and which then created the first atomic nuclei, and then the atoms and molecules and cells and ecosystems and life. That is in it. That is in us. So we have to listen. Listen to each other, particularly when such wisdom is being pronounced as we have had here these 2 days. But listen also to ourselves. We have the wisdom. We are part of an evolving universe which knows how to go forward. It has been created to move forward. We are in a unique, privileged position on this planet and probably on this solar system, but probably not in the galaxy, because the galaxies have probably many solar systems, myriads, and some of them could be much more evolved than we are. But at least here we are in a privileged position. We can perceive who we are and what the world is. We can, if we really ask ourselves honest questions and we combine our knowledge with our intuition, then we can move forward. We have had an example here of the last 2 days of pronouncing many, many words of wisdom, ideas. We have admired each other with good reason, and we are determined to move forward also with good reason. So what's left for us to do? Everything. The world is here to be healed. The world is here to be aligned with its evolution, an evolving quantum universe in which all things are not connected to each other, all things are each other. There is no separateness in the sense that purely one thing is in and something and other things. We are it. We are together an evolving universe. Imagine how completely differently one would behave. One would act vis-a-vis others, vis-a-vis that blade of grass, vis-a-vis the nature, vis-a-vis culture, vis-a-vis other people, if we would realize that we are it. We are together, not separate beings. We are together an evolving universe, a quantum universe in which information is distributed to all equally. Listen to it, allow it to work. My own experiences, at the end of this note, my own experience is that when I sit back, allow my thoughts to develop, then they write themselves, then they come out, then they come forward. If I try to force an idea, it doesn't work usually. Sometimes a message that I didn't like, really appreciate afterwards, as it turns out, just it doesn't go through. I think technology helps me. Also, it's intuitive. That's just a belief. But I feel that we are not alone. We are it. We are together, an evolving system. Behave like that. Then I think our future will be what it's meant to be. Bring consciousness into space and time. Bring a high level of consciousness. That way, this humanity, or rather this planet, through humanity, will get to know each other, itself, and will get to contribute to the world around us. Our contribution is through becoming conscious and spreading the consciousness on higher and higher levels. That's the destiny of the universe. That's the human destiny, to be aligned with it, to help with it. Despite the hiccups, despite the problems, the traumas, we are moving in that direction. Let's move together, because we are more than separate people being together. We are people who are one. The world is one. We are one. Consciousness is one. We keep saying that. Let's remember it and let's act like it. Thank you for your attention.